Hello, welcome to Within the Frame. I'm Kim Bo-kyung, filling in for Han-daen. The highly acclaimed K-musical Marie Curie has made its historic debut on London's West End, a cornerstone of the musical theater world alongside New York's Broadway. This marks the first time a Korean musical is being staged for a long-term performance with a local English cast and crew in London's biggest cultural district. On today's Within the Frame, we delve into the award-winning musical and the growing global recognition of K-musicals. And for that, musical actor Kim So-yang, also known as Sophie Kim, joins us in the studio. Sophie, hello.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And joining us virtually from London is Tom Ramsey, a playwright who oversaw the English adaptation and literal translation. Hello, Tom.
Hello, lovely to have me here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Now, Tom, first, for those who might not have had a chance to enjoy the musical, do tell us the storyline of it.
Yes, so Marie Curie is a very acclaimed, very renowned scientist from the late 19th century, early 20th century. She was born in Poland but made her career in France and is most well known for the discovery of radium, which was an amazing glowing substance and element that got put on the periodic table, but transpired to have more dangers than people might realize at the time. And the musical really is a fictionalized account that makes Marie Curie confront the difficulties and dangers of this amazing thing that she's discovered by having a famous case called the Radium Girls involving a factory in America and bringing that story and the dangers that brought difficulties to the life of the factory workers into France in Marie Curie's lifetime.
All right, I see. I mean, hearing the plot makes me want to see it myself. Now, Tom, as far as I know, this musical is currently run in Charing Cross Theatre, and I heard that it has a long history. Could you tell us more about this venue?
Yeah, so Charing Cross is a really beautiful, lovely, intimate theatre in the heart of London's West End. It's just off the Strand, which is one of the biggest, most popular roads in London, where there's lots of theatres. It's where Back to the Future, the musical is. It's where Mean Girls, the musical is, near The Lion King. But you get this really great experience of an intimate auditorium of only 250 seats. So it's kind of like being in the heart of the West End with the intimacy and the advantages of a really small, lovely theatre.
All right, very interesting. Now, Sophie, you portrayed Marie Curie during 2020 run in Seoul from the very start, that is.
Yes.
And so the musical's West End debut must have been much more meaningful for you. How do you feel about this?
Yes, it is really meaningful. So it has been our dream, and especially Mr. Kang, producer, Kang's dream to open it in UK or Broadway. It's all our dreams. And I'm really proud that we finally opened the gate, and it was really beautiful theater and beautiful audience. And I'm really looking forward to future starting with this work, and I really want to see more Korean musicals coming up as well.
All right, I can definitely feel how proud you are right now regarding this musical.
Of course.
All right, now Tom, I would like to know how the Western audience has received Marie Curie as well. How are the locals reacting to the Korean musical right now?
We're seeing really great responses from all our audiences. It's something really new and really exciting to have a Korean musical be translated into English. So it brings us a really exciting and dynamic, and it's been kind of our jobs to translate the passion and the beauty and the meaning of the Korean text and bring it into a palatable way for UK audiences.
All right, very nice to hear that. Now, Sophie, if I'm correct, you took part in a gala concert designed to promote this musical Marie Curie with British actors. And you must have been able to get a sense of the atmosphere there. How was it?
Yes, it was just beautiful experience. I was kind of worried about the the gala concert because of the English is my second language, and it's happening in UK, not in Korea. So I was worried that I wouldn't be able to express the way the UK actors do because it's the same story, same music, but it is different version of the show. So I wanted to express the way they did as well. But as soon as I got there, everyone was so welcoming us, and they gave us a lot of hugs, kisses, and they gave us like applause a lot. And it was just every time I got goosebumps,
Really?
every single time. And the language-wise, I used to study in U.S. for 6 years, and then the accent is a little bit different. So it was kind of, for me, it's difficult as well, but it ended up really beautifully, and I'm really proud of that. And everyone is singing the Korean Marie Curie songs, and we just cried a little bit.
Really?
Yes, because of it's our dream come true. So it was just beautiful moment, and they told me that they've been watching our video so many times, and they've been listening to our music as well. And they told us that how wonderful Korean actors are. So it was just, for me, it was just a dream come true.
Yeah, it must have been a really touching experience.
Exactly.
For you. All right. Well, Tom, let's delve a little bit deeper into what made the musical so successful. So basically, this Marie Curie musical tells the life story of the globally renowned Nobel Prize-winning scientist and her groundbreaking discoveries. And as the playwright, what factors do you think set the musical up for a long-term run on the West End?
So yeah, Marie Curie is a very prominent, well-known figure in the UK. One of our biggest charities to support people affected by cancer and their care is called Marie Curie, named after her pioneering discoveries. And cancer is something that's universal. It touches all of our lives. There's recent statistics that now 1 in 2 people will be affected by cancer. So just to have this musical that kind of reckons with how difficult it was to pioneer life-saving and changing discoveries has a real resonance for UK audiences. And also just a musical about the power of determination and tenacity, that drive forward towards a goal to make something happen, and believe in yourself that even when there are difficulties, that there can be life-changing revelations from hard work and research is a really pertinent, always powerful message.
I see. Now, that being said, Tom, may I ask what your main priorities were when adapting the musical into English to make sure it's engaging, like you said, and resonates with both Korean and English-speaking audiences?
Yeah, absolutely. It was always our number one priority was to keep the themes and the emotional truth of the original Korean text and script. But in order to make that theme and emotional resonance make real sense for UK audiences, some things did have to be adapted and changed, especially in telling this story of a European figure, especially a Polish character, which is such an important part of the both her life and the lens that the musical tells this story through. It's really examining what it meant to be Polish at the time, which involved a lot of segregation, a lot of negative attitudes, and we really wanted to bring that to the fore and consult with Polish people and theatre makers to allow that story to feel really authentic and truthful when we will have Polish audiences coming to see the show, and just a general sense of the ways in which European characters interact with each other.
I see. It must have been really difficult to, keep those kind of ambience this musical actually held. Now, was there any specific line that you thought it was really difficult to translate or to make it into an English?
Oh, that's a really tricky question. For example, the ways that we are communicating on stage, we're a bit more casual, I'd say, in the way we use theatrical language. The Korean shows from what I've seen seem to have more of a beautiful poetry about them. We're a bit more boring and blunt. So there is a song that in the show is one of the most beautiful songs. It's a duet between Marie and the other female lead, Anne, which was translated to us as "You Are My Starlight." And we got feedback from our audiences that that sounded like a Disney song rather than a song that Marie Curie would sing. So we had to reinterpret that, and now it's in our version. It's called "You Are the Reason," and it manages to contain the beautiful message of the song and the connection between these two characters, but does it in a way that allows English audiences to engage with it rather than disengage. And both mean the same thing. They're just communicable for their respective audiences as they can be.
All right, interesting indeed. Now, Sophie, we definitely now understand that this musical was well received. It's being well received in West End right now. But the musical was actually previously well recognized in Japan as well.
Yes.
And it was even invited to the Music Gardens Festival in 2022 in Warsaw, which is actually the birthplace of Marie Curie as well. Now, what aspects do you believe of this musical attracted so many international audiences?
And in Poland, of course, she's, as we all know, Marie Curie is from Poland. She's Polish, so it's even meaningful, even more meaningful in there. And I believe the music is the power of this show. So the music is beautiful, and it gives us a lot of emotion. So I think the music is the most beautiful thing in this show, but also drama. And it tells us a lot of things, especially the love and friendship. And she tried to do everything to achieve her dreams, and she's really persuasive. And that tell us that just never give up and just going on. And whatever you make the mistake, don't worry about it. And that show tells us those things. And so it gives a lot of courage to do something what we believe. That's what I think this musical is, just can give a lot of things to the international audience as well.
So you believe the music itself and the theme of love and friendship was able to resonate with international audiences as well?
Exactly. She's a scientist, but also she's an amazing mom, human being. So we're all the same. I think it's the common thing that...
Right. I understand. Now, Tom, I'd like to talk about the Korean musical as well. We have been talking about Marie Curie, and I'd like to broaden a little bit to the Korean musicals. And so I wonder how Korean musicals are doing in the global musical industry. How do you overall assess Korean musicals right now?
I think it's a hugely exciting time for K-musicals and Korean musicals. From our conversations with people from Live Corp and other Korean theatre makers, it seems like there's very much a, more than a wish even, an intention and a goal to have for the K-musical what's happened for K-pop. K-pop is now just synonymous in Western culture in a way that's really exciting and dynamic and unique, and the unique qualities of the art form are being enjoyed and represented now all around the world. And I think the same can very much happen for K-musicals. They have a really unique perspective and a really interesting history with the art form, and we're seeing more and more successes. I know there's maybe Happy Ending, I believe it's called, that's opening on Broadway later this year with Darren Criss. And I think that will be a real flag in the moon for the expansion and global reach of Korean musicals, and figuring out the ways in which that all musicals, when translated from different countries, change and are informed by their audiences, because ultimately theatre is about the relationship with the audience. And I think the K-musical is off to such a great start with how beloved and passionately they're taken in Seoul and around Korea. And I'm really excited about the future and global expansion of this incredible art form.
All right, I see. Now, we have been talking about how Korean musicals can resonate with international audiences, but I wonder how Korean musical actors are doing as well, Sophie. Now, since you were the first Asian cast member of the Broadway musical Sister Act in
Yes.
2017 and was in part of the Asia tour, you must know well, how are Korean musical actors doing?
I think, of course, the biggest achievement in U.S. would be the Sister Act for me. And I saw a lot of Korean actors playing in UK and the US as well, which is really proud of. And we are kind of really different because maybe we don't have union in there or not, but everyone, the music actors, they just finish their rehearsal. And in US and UK, they just go home and they live their lives. But in Korea, it's a little bit different.
Right.
We spend more time, much
Together,
more
right?
time for the rehearsal, and we don't go home. We are really persuasive. We just go up until the night or next morning with the creative, so we talk about a lot of things and we tried a lot. That's why we put so much effort into the show. Of course, like the other countries do, but we are really just very into it. I think it's a little bit different from the other countries' actors. So that's why we are really, I think, we are great.
All right, I see. Maybe that was the kind of passion was able to
Exactly.
make this kind of Korean musical reach out to global industry as well, right?
Exactly. The passion, we are very, very passionate
I can
people.
feel that.
Yes.
All right. Well, unfortunately, this would be our last question, but I'd like to ask both of our guests. Now, Tom, what efforts still need to be made to expedite the global reach of Korean musicals even further, in your opinion?
I think everyone is doing the right thing and the goal is very much being met. I'm just really excited for a wider, broad category of these musicals in different genres, both contemporary and classical, and getting, I think, Korean stories on stage as well would also be really exciting and interesting because, you have a really unique history and a really unique perspective on your own stories. So I can't wait for more musicals about Korean history and Korean stories to branch out and take over the world. Because I think musicals are a universal form of storytelling. Music has a power that no other way of communication does. A tune, a note can really impact you, whatever language it's being sung in.
All right, I see. Now, Sophie, I'd like to ask your opinion as well. What more can we do?
I think that the culture is a little bit different from US or UK or here because we don't have really much of understanding of classic. But in US or UK, musical flows together in progress of children growing up is really natural. They just singing from the childhood, Sound of Music, King and I. They know everything about the Korean musical. But in Korea, we have to put a lot of effort to learn about that. So I think the education-wise, we have to do something more about that. That's what I think. And I got a lot of help in US. So I learned about composer, producers, writers, and everyone. But in Korea, we don't have much of that education yet. So I think the teachers should study more so we could give a lot of information to our children as well. I think that's the start.
Oh,
yes,
all right, I
that's
see.
what I believe. Yeah.
All right, I see. Well, let's surely hope more Korean musicals and more Korean actors would be able to meet with global audiences.
That would be amazing.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you, Sophie, for your time and insights today on Korean musical. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the end of this show. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.